3 vending machines, $1,450 a month in profit. And the owner says only 70% of that income is actually passive. The other 30% is fixing equipment in the evening, driving restocking routes that cost $200 a month in gas, and hauling heavy change between locations. Now here is the strange part. That exact same machine, with the same products at the same prices, makes $200 a month in one location and $1,500 a month somewhere else. Same machine, completely different business. So what is actually making the money? The machine itself, the products inside, or something else entirely? By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how this business works and what it would actually take to build it to $10,000 a month. This is the Income Guide, where we break down how business models actually work with real numbers and no fantasy projections. Hit subscribe so you catch the next breakdown. Now let's follow the money. Here is what gets shared online. One machine, a small investment to start. Set it and forget it. Collect money every month. That is the version most people have seen before they ever think seriously about this business. Here is what the operator with 3 machines actually said after running this for months. 70% passive, not 100, 70. Every single week, there is inventory to buy and restock. There are routes to drive, and those routes cost real money in fuel. Every few weeks, something in a machine breaks, and a customer is already calling before you have had a chance to find out about the problem yourself. This is not a complaint about the business. The cash flow is real, and the case studies prove it. But the version being sold online and the version that actually exists in practice are different in one important way. And that gap is where most beginners lose their first few months and sometimes their first machine. The work itself is manageable. The operator in Scotland runs 6 machines at 4 to 5 hours of work a week total. But whether that work earns $200 a month or $1,500 comes down to a single decision that most people make in the wrong order. The answer to why the same machine earns $200 in one place and $1,500 in another has nothing to do with the machine itself. It is the people walking past it. A hospital corridor at 2 in the afternoon has nurses cycling through on rotating breaks, visitors who have been sitting in waiting rooms for hours with nowhere else to go, and support staff grabbing something quickly between tasks. The machine is surrounded by people who are tired, hungry, and cannot easily leave the building. A small office at 3 in the afternoon has people who brought lunch from home and already have their next meeting in 10 minutes. Same machine, completely different foot traffic, completely different revenue. Here is the location hierarchy by monthly gross revenue. Airports and transit hubs generate $700 to $1,500 a month. Hospital and medical centers generate $600 to $1,400. Warehouses and factories generate $500 to $1,200. Gyms generate $400 to $900. Small offices under 50 people generate $100 to $300 a month. The machine is not the business. The location is the business. The machine is just how you extract the value from it. And once you understand that, the entire economics of vending start to make sense. Let's take a real machine at a real location and follow the money all the way through. A machine at a gym generates $600 a month in gross sales. That sounds like a solid number. Then the products take their cut. Everything in that machine costs money to stock wholesale, and across a typical product mix that runs 30 to 50% of your gross revenue. On $600, inventory alone removes $270. The gym wants a commission on top of that. Premium locations almost always take a percentage of gross sales, typically between 10 and 25%. At 15%, the gym takes another $90. The machine has to accept card payments. In 2026, a cash-only machine is invisible to most customers under 40, and you will lose a significant share of your sales. Card processing fees run 2 to 4% of every transaction. Then add gas for restocking runs and occasional maintenance costs, and you are looking at another $30 to $50 a month on a single machine. That $600 machine is producing about $190 to $210 in actual profit. Revenue is not profit. The gap between what the machine earns and what actually reaches your pocket is the calculation most beginners never run before they buy their first machine. But if one machine only nets $200 a month, there is an obvious problem with the $10,000 target. How many machines would you actually need? And is there a completely different way to get there faster? At $200 net per machine, the path to $10,000 a month is clear and a little daunting. 5 machines earns $1,000 a month. 10 machines earns $2,000. 30 machines earns $6,000. 50 machines gets you to $10,000. 50 machines is a real operation that requires significant capital, proper route management, and years of reinvestment to build. The operator in Sydney who built 46 machines did it over 4 years, putting every dollar of profit back into the next machine. Nearly $1 million in total cash flow across that period. But there is a different path to that income level, one that requires far fewer machines. And when I found the numbers, I understood immediately why the people running it are not broadcasting it. Cotton candy vending machines. The raw material cost per serving is approximately 30 cents. The price a customer pays is $7 to $12. At a realistic 15 to 18 sales a day inside a family entertainment venue, net monthly profit lands between $3,000 and $4,000 per machine. A single machine documented at a UK family entertainment center averaged 18 sales a day at £8, producing roughly $4,000 a month in net profit with a 7-week payback on the full machine cost. Before you go looking for cotton candy machines, there is something critical to understand about this, because this is exactly where the beginner mistake happens. A cotton candy machine earns those numbers in a very specific type of environment: a family entertainment center, an indoor theme park, a children's attraction, or a high-traffic tourist location. Place that same machine in an office building, and it earns almost nothing, because the buying trigger is completely different. Cotton candy sells when a parent is spending on an experience with their kids. A standard snack machine sells because hungry office workers need food. The product has to match the environment and the buyer in that environment. The lesson here is not that cotton candy machines are a secret shortcut. The lesson is that matching the right machine to the right location and the right buyer is the single highest leverage decision in this entire business. That principle is the same whether you are running standard machines or specialty ones. He started in Sydney in October 2021 with money saved from reselling clothes and shoes. Before placing any machine, he set one rule: a minimum of $150 a week in gross sales from a location, or he walks away. That rule meant turning down apartments, small offices, and a dozen easy-looking locations that could not hit the threshold. 4 years later, he owns 46 machines and has generated nearly $1 million in total cash flow. His best machine at a construction site was earning $450 a day at its peak. The lesson: a minimum revenue threshold is not a suggestion. It is the filter that separates a profitable route from a mediocre one. He bought his first refurbished machine in April 2025 for about $4,800. His first location barely covered costs, so instead of buying a second machine, he moved the first one to a better location, and revenue nearly tripled. Within 12 months, he had 6 machines running, $58,000 in projected annual revenue, and $27,000 in annual profit. He refills each machine in under 10 minutes and works 4 to 5 hours a week total. His initial investment came back within 10 months, and every dollar of profit since has gone into the next machine. The lesson: when a location underperforms, the answer is rarely to buy another machine. It is to move the one you have. 2 machines, one in an office, one in an auto repair shop. After accounting for gas, inventory, and maintenance, combined monthly net profit runs $130 to $150. His own conclusion after months of running the route: if he only had the repair shop machine, he would be breaking even or losing money. The office machine is carrying the entire operation. He said it directly: location is the whole game. The lesson: one bad location does not just underperform, it can make an otherwise workable route unsustainable. If I was starting this business from zero today, here is the exact sequence I would follow. Find the location before spending anything on equipment. Walk into gyms, medical buildings, factories, and university facilities. Talk to whoever manages the property and get a confirmed placement agreement. Only after that do you think about machines. Set a minimum gross revenue threshold for every location before you commit. Apply the same filter the Sydney operator used, $150 a week minimum, and walk away from anything that cannot hit it. Buy refurbished for your first machine rather than brand new or the cheapest used unit available. A refurbished combo machine from a reputable dealer runs $2,800 to $3,800 and has been tested and repaired before you receive it. And never put equipment on a credit card. A machine netting $200 a month cannot carry credit card interest on a $3,000 balance while also covering its operating costs. Make sure the machine accepts cashless payments from day one. Adding card acceptance increases revenue by 20 to 35%. And in 2026, it is not optional if you want to reach the full customer base. Track every number from week 1, gross sales per machine, product cost, commission, and gas. After 90 days, you will know exactly which locations are worth keeping and which ones are draining the route without earning their place on it. Reinvest before you spend. Every dollar of profit from the first machine goes toward the second. The operators who build real income in this business are almost always the ones who stay disciplined about reinvestment through the first year. Can vending machines make real money? Yes, but not the way it gets sold online. One machine at a decent location nets $200 to $300 a month. 6 machines with disciplined location selection is the Scotland operator, $27,000 a year at 4 to 5 hours of work a week. 40-plus machines built over years of consistent reinvestment is the Sydney operator, with nearly $1 million over 4 years. The machine is not the business. The location is the business. The machine is just how you extract the value from it. That one sentence is what most beginners learn the expensive way after buying a machine and then trying to find somewhere to put it. Now you know it before you spend $1. The location scouting checklist, the per machine cost calculator, and the minimum threshold framework are in the pinned comment below. And next week, I am breaking down a business model with similarly low startup costs, where the income does not depend on driving routes or fixing machines in the evening. Subscribe so you are there. See you next week.